Welcome back to our next exciting episode of Uncivil Discourse, hosted by Lee,
Hi, everybody.
myself, and this time with our extra special playoff commentator, BB2. Welcome for joining us, Laura.
Not a problem. And hey, everybody.
I did wave again, but that's pretty much standard for me.
We almost need you to just be on camera so that people can see your antics.
Nobody wants to see me tonight. My hair is terrible.
Be happy you still have hair.
To all league members, our special announcement this week is please make sure you get your votes in for the 3 awards: the Good Egg, the Master Technician, and the Phoenix Hawk Memorial Blunder Award.
Master Tactician, not Technician. Master Tactician.
Who wrote that? Who wrote this silly script? Master Technician. As well, make sure to comment to all the polls the Battle Babes have been putting up on Discord and the Facebook group, to make sure that your voice is heard on League Matters and community participation.
Alphabetically speaking, our A-side playoff teams were competing in the Caustic Valley Battleground. The Yellow Sand definitely had our players' mechs standing out today. The first game, Ansgar's Outlaws versus the League of Robots. Our outlaw luck has run its course as the robots put the hammer down in a 4-0 victory.
This game goes sideways real fast when the Marauder 2 tries to jump into a Rebel Hex, fails the landing, and caves its head in. So much for that 100-ton monster. Following that, the Daishi cuts off the left torso of the Griffin.
Our second exciting matchup sees the Neon Betons getting beaten by Kells Keshik and another walloping 4-1 Keshik countdown.
Well, we found out what weapon kills best. Apparently, it's plasma rifles at 15 hexes or less.
It doesn't hurt when the Nova goes screaming into the center of the enemy. Suicidal charge. Leroy! Dead mech. On to the B-side, where we let the kids saunter around the savannah and see who comes out on top. Game number 1. Holding things close to the vest, we have Dead Man's Hand flop the cards down and pull a 4-0 win over the half-cut Clanners.
Oh, but what a great game. Paul is always so much fun. To be honest, I don't know how it ended up being 4-0. He played a great game. The only thing that really kind of went in my favor was, I think, turn 3 or turn 4. My Huron Warrior was able to catch his Dragonfly with both the Gauss Rifle, the ER Large Laser, and the Medium Pulse Laser, and just cut the right torso right off the mech. Once that happened, it was like way overheating and only a 8-12-6 mech, but with its heat, it was slowed down really bad. Turn after that, I was able to finish it off. His Warhawk's such a scary machine. And his Warhammer pretty much ignored the fire I was hitting with 1 or 2 Gauss rifles every 2 or 3 rounds. He just ignored it and really made me pay. Like I said, I'm amazed I got a 4-0 win. Thanks, Paul, and looking forward to play again next year.
That explains why there is so many crisscross notes on the score sheet, where there was this mech was killed by that mech, and that mech was killed by this mech, and then it was scratched out 4-0. I wasn't sure about that. Good game, Lee.
Game number 2. The B-side has the Radiant Raven Raiders get taken to the rave and thrown out at the end of the night as the Red Suns rise and ascend to the next round with a 4-2 victory.
Starting off strong, when the Dragonfly tries to backstab it, the Avatar flips its arms and drills both Gauss rifles home. The Night Sky falls down. Then, when it's trying to carefully stand up, it rolls a double ones, Snake Eyes, when it only needed a 3. That pretty much ends that mech.
Like many other games this season, the Battlemaster decided nap time is the better part of Valor. This brings us to the Seaside Best Side division. These teams got the kick-ass Cozice Valley Arena to fight out there in the semifinals. Game number 1, the Al Shane regulars romp with the Remnants, rocking and rolling to a 3-3 victory for the regulars.
It doesn't get much closer than this, right down to counting pips for damage. 87-75.
This game might have been decided a little differently had the Remnant's Thunderhawk not been their last mech standing, whereas the regulars' Thunderhawk was the first one to go down on that side. Definitely a lot of Gauss rifle rounds bouncing around here.
Game number 2, the Battle of the Brotherhood of Hamilton. Fox, Knights, and the Ghosts of Gunsburg have a good old family feud. One will progress and one will go home, as the Knights pull out a victory in a 3-0.
Little fratricide here, the Knights Grasshopper dropping the Gunsburg Grasshopper.
It's all downhill from there as the Wolverine slips, falls, crits itself in some uncomfortable ways. The D-side competitors play their final round out on the Lunar Bullshit Arena. Vengeful Ones and the Nace CIT have a rematch from Game 10.
Coming back with a vengeance, no ones are given today as the Clanners take the D-side finals with a 4-2 finale.
Right off the bat, the Battle Cobra takes the head off the Night Star, then Fire from the Night Star takes the head off the Direwolf. Tit for tat, assault trade. It wasn't looking good for the Vengeful Ones as the Black Chalk finishes off some elementals. But then the Vengeful Ones line them up and knock them down one after the other.
So congratulations to John and his Vengeful Ones, our 2024 D Division winners. Well played and a well-earned victory. Onward and upward into the finals. And because these matches are so important, we'll be taking a little extra time to break down the lances as they fight it out for that trophy. Game number 1, the big enchiladas in our A-side finals game where we have the League of Robots versus the Kells Keshik.
The League of Robots, who finished in second overall in the regular season with a record of 8 wins, 0 losses, and 2 ties, dealing out 31 kills for and only losing 16 mechs against them. In the playoffs so far, they have killed all 8 of their opponents and only lost a meager 3 mechs. This team means to apply horrendous violence to their enemies with amazing accuracy via their multiple clan large pulse lasers. The Ice Ferret D, which has engineering skill. The Flamer Elementals have Long Jumper, Bribery, Back Alley Intimidation. The Galahad 2 has Mountaineer, Exploit, and they took Veteran to get Dodging. The Direwolf A rounds out the stable with Faction Tech, Camouflage, and Gunnery.
They're up against the Kells Keshik, finishing 5th overall with a record of 7 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie, with an equally impressive kill count of 32, with only losing 16 mechs of their own. Amazingly enough, a better kill differential than the second place team. Their heavy reliance on plasma rifles make quick work of elementals. As well as this makes every opponent second guess their weapons, it's hard to declare what you want to fire when you have to contemplate what that extra heat is going to be coming in at you. This stable is made up of a Scorpion S1N with engineering and then Berserker Rage, so it's now a jumping Scorpion. The C-Sang got reassigned into, and it has Courage. The Warhammer 7M took Faction Tech, Gunnery, and Lost Tech, so it's got a little bit of gunnery and piloting on that one. And the Fafnir 5WB, the one with the 4 plasma rifles. Underworld contacts, favorite weapon, plasma rifle, goes shocking there, and piloting.
Well, we're looking how these two teams match up. The League of Robots are a league rookie, and the Kells Keshik have been around all 3 seasons now, maybe only 2.
2. They missed out on the first.
Season. Missed out on the first. I think Kells Keshik has the lance. I think he's one of the few that's even going to challenge the League of Robots. Just simply because while the League of Robots can throw out a whole bunch of damage, it's almost all energy. So I'm going to actually say the Kells Keshik are going to win. And I think they're going to win by a 3-2 because I think there's going to be a little bit of defensive movement at the end.
I like cheering for the underdog. League of Robots rookie year, making it to the A-side finals. That's pretty spectacular. I'm going to go with the League of Robots, and I'm actually going to have it as a 4-3.
Oh, if League of Robots wins this, we're going to have to put in some rules about rookies not being able to win A-side. I do think this is going to end up being a Kells Keshik, probably a 4-3 victory, just because the League of Robots has really accurate fire, but when they're dealing with an extra 10 to 15 heat every round, they just got to back off some of the stuff or they're going to lose out on being able to move or not be able to do anything, and that's the real part of where the Keshik excels. Not in doing anything themselves, but in denying their opponents to be able to utilize their game plan totally.
On to the B side, playing for all the marbles. We see Dead Man's Hand holding their cards close to the vest when they face off against the Red Sun's Irregulars.
Dead Man's Hand had a very rocky beginning into their season, with 3 straight losses and a complete rework of what skills they planned on taking. The Hands ended up with winning 5 games in a row to shake off the spiral they had gotten themselves into, ending the regular season with 6 wins, one of which being a bye, 4 losses, 0 ties. This gives them a kill differential of 22-4 and 22 against. The Dead Man's Hands playoff score has been much more impressive, with all 8 opponents removed to a loss of only 3 of their own. This lance focuses on long-range direct fire support with 3 Gauss rifles and an ER large laser, provided by an unexpectedly efficient Jagger mech. Oh god, cut that crap out. You're not making me say that.
It was supposed to be, I wanted Jeff to have to say that.
3, 2, 1. The unexpectedly not dead and useless Jagger mech after having been readjusted, and a Huron Warrior, which is an awesome mech just straight out of the cup, backed by some overwhelming close-range firepower with the Blackhawk Coup and the Templar C. The Huron Warrior has underworld contacts and anticipation. The Jagger mech took engineering, so it was no longer a piece of crap and is now pretty efficient. And forest fire, so it's more easy to connect with those Gauss rifles. The Blackhawk Coup took reassignment, getting into that chassis, and then target lock. Once it hits something, it keeps hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. The Templar was chassis upgraded from a Banshee, then clan salvaged the ERPPC, and using Veteran to jump in mobile fire as it's a hippity-hoppity assault mech.
Thought I'd be able to get you to say that. Darn it. It's an effective Jagger mech. I was hoping I'd get you to say that. My opponent, Gary, is one of the league's most liked players. Representing the Red Sun's Irregulars, a clan lance whose assault can throw more long-range firepower than some entire lances fielded this season. The Red Sun's Irregulars had a productive first half of the regular season, with only the reseeding into the A and B side slowing them down to stopping them from getting an A-side division playoffs showing. With a regular season record of 4 wins, 4 losses, and 2 ties, they dropped 25 enemies while losing 26 of their own forces. Their post-season scoring, however, tells a different tale, with 7 kills to the positive and only 3 against. Their Direwolf brings one of the highest damage at range, with 65 points out to 20 hexes, with an insignificant +1 to the heat scale. They're fielding a Dragonfly A, which was a chassis upgrade to get into that mech, and then engineering to modify it even further, which gives it 5 ER medium lasers and a targeting computer. Laser Elementals, getting Long Jumper and Bribery. And Archer C, that uses faction tech to add 2 ATM-9s to the mech, and then gunnery to make those ATM-9s even more accurate, as well as its ER pulse lasers. Backing it all up is the Direwolf Widowmaker. Anticipation, Technician to swap the Ultra Autocannon 20 for a Gauss rifle, and then used its veteran skill to grab camouflage. While I'm facing up against Gary, one of my favorite opponents, I am going to do my best to beat him, and I cannot call that I'm going to lose. So I am going to win this one, and it is going to be a 3-2, because I don't think I'm going to be able to kill that Direwolf.
Camouflage is the most abused skill this season. As much as I'd like to see you be able to put your name on the trophy, I actually believe Gary's is the one that's going up this year in a 4-2 victory for the Red Suns Irregulars.
Oh, I have to choose. Can't they both win?
I mean, you can choose a 4-4 double elimination and neither of them goes on.
I don't think that's an option. Although mutual headshots to end the game with the last mechs would be fantastic. No, I think Lee has just more skill. Gary has a great lance, but I think Lee's got more skill. So I think I'm going to go with a 4-2, but it's going to be Dead Man's Hand.
Yeah, this is the worst because Gary is my pick for the overall winner of the B side. I didn't think I was going to get this far. So having to choose myself means I'm either right on this and wrong on my overall prediction, or I'm wrong on this game and right for the overall prediction. So let's see, it works out.
Flippity flop, our C side is going to drop as we have an epic battle of the Alshane Regulars versus the Foch Knights.
Alshane Regulars are the rookie lance this season. Helmed by Carlos, this lance comes in with a reasonable record of 4 wins, 1 is a bye win, 5 losses and 1 tie, 19 kills for and 22 against. They have steadily been one of the sleeper lances, with opponents sorely underestimating the Draconis Combine lance that avoided the faction tech. No heavy reliance on C3 or MRMs this lance, with only a Grand Dragon fielding any of the faction's premier tech. But it's all doom and gloom for his opponents, with a 3 Gauss Rifle Thunderhawk and 3 damage dealing mechs to clean up the pieces. Their postseason kill count shows their tenacity with 5 kills for and 4 against. They have held on and won against aggressive opponents. The stable consists of the Crab 20, which has Underworld Contacts and Courage, the Blackhawk Coup, which took Chassis Upgrade and Target Lock, the Grand Dragon 5K, which has the Faction Tech on it, Gunnery and Bribery. The Thunderhawk 7X rounds out the field with Favorite Weapon Gauss Rifle, Clan Salvaged, Veteran, and to get Mountaineering.
One of the 2 family members representing the Hamilton clan, the Fox Knights, have been here all season, working their way up the ranks with solid gameplay and a notable amount of rules knowledge. With a pedestrian regular season of 4 wins, 1 being a bye win, and 6 losses, they have surprised their playoff opponents by almost going without a single mech loss. Only 1 mech killed while taking out 5 of the enemy units. Their main killing machine is the Crab 001, who started the season a little extra bit salty with the addition of faction tech. That C3I giving the range benefits to its 2 Gauss rifles and LRM-15 combo. This lance does seem very well placed to topple the regulars' plan to take the division. Their lance starts off with the Phoenix Hawk 7 CS, which took Bribery, the Grasshopper 5H, Engineering and Gunnery, Exterminator 5E, took Mountaineer, Edge, and Target Lock, and the King Crab, who took Faction Tech early on and Anticipation.
I really like this lance. I've thought it was really good right from the get-go. With the C3 lance going, I think the King Crab is going to outperform the Thunderhawk. The Exterminator is really valuable with the Mountaineering skill since it doesn't jump. And the Grasshopper is just somebody who wants to get punched in the face all day, so it makes a really good spotter. I think the Alshane Regulars have a really good punch and will probably do a lot of damage, but this is going to be a 3-2 final victory for the Foch Knights.
Both guys have great lances, but I think that Thunderhawk of Carlos's is just nasty. The Gauss rifles, I hated facing Gauss rifles this season. I think Alshane Regulars is going to take this one, but it'll be close. I think it'll be a 3-2 as well.
The one thing that's telling me not to go the way that what you explained there, Brett, because it was a good example, is Alshane regulars just played a C3 Lance. They just played the Remnants, which has a solid C3 Lance. The regulars have at least 2 ECMs. They did a great job of negating the Remnants C3I system, which gives them a bit of an advantage in firepower and accuracy. I am going to go with the Alshane regulars to win, simply because they've already played this game. They've already played against C3I, they're comfortable, they're ready to go with it, and I think they're going to win, and it's going to be a big game. It's going to be a 4-3, mainly because I think that King Crab's going to take out a couple of mechs all on its own. Well, that's our show, you guys. We are done for this evening. We really thank you all for joining us as always. We enjoy doing this for you. And with the end of the regular season coming in, I've been enjoying this, and I'm looking forward to a little bit of a rest.
It's been fun filling in. I like doing the podcast.
Good, we're drafting you for next season.
Oh, we're going to tell everybody now already?
Yeah, I was going to say,
we were
don't
waiting until
spoil the surprise.
I thought it was for the end of season. They already got it. We had Jeff, Mr. Painter, in here a little bit before the end of last season when we introduced him as our other commentator for this year. So yeah, everybody, Battle Babes 2 is going to join us as our special commentator for next season.
I didn't know that was a thing. I was actually just thinking we were talking about it still.
Oh, no.
Surprise!
It's already been voted on. You were outvoted.
No, just because you and I voted yes doesn't mean that she...
Go on, you wanted me to be special commentator long before now.
Yeah, because you fit in well.
You brought it up way before I even was keen to the idea.
Yeah, she just had to warm up to it. With all of that being said, I'm really excited about how things are going to wrap up here. I'm super excited about going into the finals here and seeing how it all comes out. And then our awards day a month after that. I am looking forward to making sure that everybody gets your votes in, gets your feedback in, and remembers that I'm going to ignore everything anybody asks for at least a month after the award ceremony. So make sure you get your feedback in right away so that we do read it. Thank you again. Hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification.